not realize it, but if you live in Maryland, a community of creatures has been living beneath us for almost 2 decades, feeding off of tree roots, slowly maturing and waiting to journey above ground. They're the brood 10 periodical cicadas, and in the spring of 2021, these peculiar insects emerged from the soil for the first time in 17 years. And as University of Maryland entomologist Paula Shrewsbury explains, it's quite a dramatic re-entry.
They've emerged out of the ground, and as soon as they emerge, they will climb some type of vertical structure. They then will shed their immature skin, their exoskeleton, and the adult cicada will emerge. When it first emerges, it's white in color. Then within an hour or two, those cicadas will turn darker.
While many people find this swarm of periodic visitors to be a gross, loud nuisance, it's safe to say that Paula is a fan.
I love cicadas. I'm an entomologist in general, so I'm passionate about insects, but cicadas, because they are so unique in their biology and their ecology.
And she's not the only one. Here at Playtime Pastures in Baltimore County, farmer Jamie Condon's free-range chickens enjoy snacking on these new bugs.
So when the cicadas first started coming out of the ground, it was very obvious that the chickens knew where to look for their morning snacks. So they would come out of the coop every morning, run to some of our biggest trees where they were starting to come up out of the ground, and the chickens would actually pluck them right out of the holes before they even got the chance to adventure up the tree.
And the extra protein provided by the cicadas has not only been beneficial to the chickens, but to the farm as well.
What it is doing is cutting down on our chicken feed bill, because chickens are out foraging for some foods that they would much prefer to eat rather than the chicken scratch that we throw out. So it's actually a win-win situation for us.
But the cicadas aren't good news for everyone working in agriculture. While they're harmless to most crops, including grain and produce, they can hurt young trees, like the ones here at Ruppert Nurseries in Montgomery County.
So in general, the damage caused by the egg laying of the females isn't an issue for most people. Large trees will get dieback and flagging, they will recover. It's the smaller, newly planted trees that can get so much damage that they will die from the egg laying of the females.
In early June, with the cicadas out in full force, Paula and Ruppert's farm operations manager, Nick Graves, assess how much damage the cicadas could cause in the nursery.
Yeah. Well, they like trees that have kind of outstretching branches, long, thin branches, and we definitely have a lot of that going on here with the dogwoods. Look at all the cicadas just hanging out on the trees, on the branches,
yeah,
usually.
Some of a position right there.
She's already been busy. Yeah, you can see the little slits there. So each slit is referred to as an egg nest. And in an egg nest, the female will lay 20 to 30 eggs. And in her lifetime, she can lay up to 600 eggs.
Yeah, there's some more right here. There's a lot more damage right here.
After the eggs hatch, the immature nymph cicadas will burrow into the soil and stay for another 17 years. While homeowners can protect their young trees with netting, that would be too costly for the thousands here at the nursery. Instead, they'll have to wait and see.
Typically, when we plant trees every spring, young ones, we will prune them almost immediately. We decided this year not to prune any of them and just maybe let the cicadas damage a branch that we would have probably pruned off. And then we'll come in afterwards and prune off the damage, hoping that they didn't damage too much.
4 weeks later, things have quieted down, and the cicadas have mostly disappeared. But reminders of their short visit remain in many of the trees.
From what we can tell, it looks like it affected about 30 to 40% of our inventory. Some of the smaller trees had some significant damage, not a ton, and some of our larger trees, it's pretty obvious there's a good amount of damage. But it all seems, for the most part, to be able to be salvaged.
That means a lot of trimming and pruning. And while the chickens and bug watchers may be sorry to see them go, Nick is glad he won't have to worry about the cicadas for another 17 years.
We were happy to have them. They were a welcome distraction in the heat of the summer. They definitely did do some damage and are going to cause us a little bit more work. May set a few of our trees back a year or two. You know, it was cool to see them, but I'm happy they're gone, and maybe in 17 years they'll go somewhere else.
We visited Ruppert Nurseries before in 2019. That time, they were delivering a giant tree to the Maryland Zoo. To watch that story and others, check out our YouTube channel. And did you know, birds aren't the only ones who eat cicadas. Fish, moles, and even humans have been known to eat them too.